Welcome back to Appalachian Dim Sum,
where our entertainment is our comfort food.
Absolutely, and this is episode 26.
And comfort food at this point is post dessert. We're at the coffee.
Coffee.
I got mine here somewhere.
There you go, coffee.
I drink way too big cups of coffee.
I had one of those cookies with my coffee, and it was fantastic.
Yeah. Well, my post show research is going to be what makes chocolate devil food.
Right.
I don't know what that is. It's obviously a different taste.
Mm-hmm.
I think you said it was kind of more of a sharp.
Yeah,
I forget what word you said.
I said tangy.
Yeah,
tangy. It's got like a tang to it.
Yeah.
My assumption is devil food is dark chocolate.
Yeah.
That's my assumption.
Maybe even bitter.
Yeah.
Bitter type chocolate.
Well, there is, what is it? Baking chocolate is more bitter than like milk chocolate. So
that's kind of flavor is like when you're young, you're like, yeah, it's like coffee is the same way as you get older. It's like, I don't know what it happens to your chemistry and your metabolism that makes things like that taste better. But
there's a lot of things that you don't like when you're a kid that you like and don't like. For example, broccoli. I love broccoli. I hated it as a kid.
I get to a point where I really crave it because I think I've somehow or another I've kind of
deficiency
mentally identified that iron and stuff that you get out of it is something that you get deficient of, especially when we go on the road and we have to eat out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This last show we were gone for 4 days, and 2 of the nights we went out to eat. 2 of the nights we went to like Kroger's and got food. Both nights I got those steam bags of frozen broccoli, and I had broccoli with that salsa cheese dip.
Oh, nice.
That's what
sounds good.
That's what I had for dinner because you just eat so much of that
junk
crap to your body's just saying, is like, man, you need to put something in me. We're not doing good.
Please give me nutrition. So we're going to be talking about Lovecraftian media. That's really what we're talking. That's going to be talking about during this coffee service.
I don't think we could quite tie broccoli to that. Yeah.
The eldritch vegetable.
Yeah.
The reason we're talking about the Lovecraft stuff is we kind of were thinking of Event Horizon as a Lovecraftian story.
Yeah.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that. First, I'll
hold on to the position that it probably is.
Yeah.
There's a firm position for you. I think it is.
Well, I learned a tiny bit about Lovecraft. Now, this is a disclosure. I don't consider myself a Lovecraft fan.
Oh, I haven't physically read anything that he's ever written.
I've never physically read anything. I went on a trip this past weekend and I pulled up Audible. I was like, well, what's on Audible? Let's see. And apparently I bought at some point the complete works of H.P. Lovecraft. And so I started listening to some of that and I got through The Alchemist, which is a really short story. And I'm actually like in the middle of At the Mountains of Madness. And at the beginning of this collection, there were 2 guys who were the guys who started the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society back in like the 80s. And they were talking about Lovecraft a bit.
Okay.
So pretty much he was a pulp writer. Like all of his works was published in pulp magazines. That's where he got published.
Okay.
And
by that you mean like a
kind of like heavy metal.
Okay.
Like
sort
that.
Of like a science fiction.
Right. Well, like Dune, Frank Herbert, the first Dune book, that was published that's why a lot of times novels in there, it'll be like book 1, because book 1 was in whatever issue of a magazine. Okay. Book 2 was in the next issue.
Gotcha.
So, and unfortunately, he lived through pretty much the Depression. And so that's what really colored a lot of his perspectives.
What's his time frame?
Right. I always thought, if you asked me a week ago, when did H.P. Lovecraft live? I would be like, oh, he was like in the 1830s, right? No, he was born in 1890, died in 1937. He's only 46 years old.
Okay.
That really kind of puts a perspective on where we are in our life.
We also grew up with running water.
Yeah, grew up with running water and better nutrition. More food. How about that?
More
Probably
things,
more food.
more knowledge.
Yeah, more knowledge.
Maybe is the way. Did
But
he
he,
die of anything weird? Just natural causes? Do we know?
let's see. I do not know. I'm going
Did he
to
get
find that out real
sucked
quick.
through another dimension? Is he really dead? was he the character of Sam Neill that showed up in Event Horizon?
I we've mentioned some things before on here that it's like, hey, that would be fun to actually develop into something.
Yeah.
I have something I don't want to mention because I'm thinking I might want to develop it, but it might exist. So, small intestine cancer.
Oof.
Whew. Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
That's
Well,
rough. But anyway, he had a rough childhood. I mean, it was through the Depression, and he was never really appreciated.
I can't imagine.
In his lifetime, he, like I said, he only ever published in pulp magazines. So it's not like some other authors where like, oh, they hit it big and then they start getting notoriety. No, he never really like even uh, made enough money to live off of his work.
I don't know that you even told Stephen King get to where somebody's really kind of writing stuff out on the fringe in his lifetime and is accepted
Well, like
and popular.
I think Tolkien did. I'm pretty sure C.S. Lewis did. Like there were authors. Mary Shelley, I'm pretty sure Mary Shelley did.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't
as far out.
I'm
there.
sure like Jules Verne. Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking more in terms of people that kind of write horror.
Yeah. Mary Shelley, maybe.
Things that are harder for people to kind of grasp, especially we process these things so differently now because if you make any movie now about a Cthulhu or a demon possession or anything, we have so many images from film and stuff that we automatically kind of associate with it. If you can imagine somebody writing something in the 20s or 30s to where they have no basis for anything, you're in that time frame of like where the H.G. Wells did the War of the Worlds, and people thought it was a real thing because they're like,
right, aliens are here.
The aliens is coming.
Now it looks like he did earn a living as a freelance ghostwriter and revisionist. So he did write for a living, but he didn't make a living off of his work.
Yeah.
Which I bet. I mean, I'm sure that was disappointing for him. Now the two guys who started the Lovecraft Historical Society, pretty much their introduction to Lovecraft was the novels. Like a friend brought a novel, like, you got to read this. It's like The Rats in the Wall, I think, is the particular story they mentioned. But also they were into D&D, and there was a tabletop game called the Call of Cthulhu, which still exists.
Okay.
And they got into that, and they got into making live action role play, and I think they called it Cthulhu Lives. And it's this thing that they did as teens, and then when they went to college, they went off to college, and they were like on opposite coasts.
Yeah.
And they did it in college, and it grew and grew and grew, and it's to the point where that's what these guys have done for their life. Is they've just loved Lovecraft, which is cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things you always kind of wonder, like, I mean, when Lovecraft died, he had no idea this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's
there's always those ideas of these couple storylines, and I can't remember what they are, where there's that guy that needs to write this thing because in the future that's going to be the work that changes how everybody views something. And I'm sure that's sort of like a little thing that's in the back of a lot of writers' heads when they're writing. It's like, nobody knows who I am, but maybe in the future I'll be famous.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what we, as people who aren't Lovecraft fans, I would just call myself a casual Lovecraftian.
Yeah.
What do you view to be like? What do you consider to be Lovecraft?
Lovecraft to me is always sort of a interdimensional thing with powers and entities that exist somewhere else in another dimension or in a greater that are viewing our galaxy or our universe from some outside place and have some sort of power to either destroy or manipulate things here and are really monstrous and stuff like that. And that as far as that goes, coming into like media and stuff like that, where those like there are influences on characters or people in movies and stuff that become aware of that world that they exist in, connect with that world, and sometimes gain extra life or powers and stuff, but have to sacrifice their souls and their sometimes their bodies to kind of to make that connection and stuff. And it always kind of comes back to the short answer to that question would be tentacles. It's like you somehow or another getting outer worldly powers and long life, and the secret to existence involves tentacles.
It always involves tentacles.
It always seems to. And it seems like they're I think my argument for why the Event Horizon would get there would be because it's that trip into insanity, and that anybody that kind of pursues that kind of connection to get into this otherworldly source of power from demigods and these monstrous beings that are either created the universe or could destroy the universe, that those people have to kind of not go insane to get there, but they have to leave the bounds of what's normal to get there, and that usually is viewed as insane. So that's those are the kind of things that make Lovecraft stuff for me, that people that have kind of gone over to the other side, embraced an evil or what we would view as evil,
Right.
And it's made them, they think they're immortal, or maybe given them a power to get out of whatever weak spot they thought they were in, kind of thing. I don't know.
There's a lot of 80s films that skirt that line.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be Lovecraftian films. I'm thinking of, we just talked about this during our break, Ghoulies. Like the whole thing about Ghoulies is like, I want the power of the devil.
Yeah.
And he summons these little demon little dudes. But like, if those little demon dudes were just like tentacle dudes, Lovecraft.
Yeah, I guess that is a big kind of difference, is that there are so many movies where there are people that are satanic, and their powers are trying to connect with Satan.
And that is a very easy line to put, is like, well, if it's Satan, it's not Lovecraft.
Yeah.
If Lovecraft is explicitly some sort of eldritch, that's a good word they love.
Yeah.
Being that is older than time itself.
The things that existed before.
Yeah.
And
I guess you would Satanist versus a Satanist film versus Lovecraft film.
Yeah. And
yeah, that's a good distinction.
Dark Tower stuff kind of, I don't know if you'd even compare that to that, where there's these ideas of these multiple dimensions, and like our dimension exists and is like a good place, but it's surrounded by all these awful things. And if like we ever break whatever it is that holds our stuff together, that we just fall into this abyss where all this other stuff is. And it's a unusual worldview to.
Well, there's a lot of, especially let's say 1970 and onward.
Yeah.
There's a lot of influence on. There's a lot of Lovecraftian influence on horror.
Yeah.
Clive Barker, and this is until we started looking at this kind of stuff and actually thinking about it. Yeah. I didn't really consider this, but like I think Clive Barker, a lot of what Clive Barker does is very Lovecraftian. It's very influenced by it anyway.
But storyline wise, most of it's satanic, though, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of taking the Lovecraftian ideas, but it's from Satan instead of one of the old gods. And I don't know how much Lovecraft, how much you could compare with the stuff that he kind of imagined and wrote versus like the old Greek stuff, where there were what were the giant things that were like planet sized
in Greek, the Titans?
Yeah, like the Titans, and the things that were these things that we eventually the gods like Thor and Zeus and things finally destroyed.
Yeah, the Titans. The Titans were the parents of the gods.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's almost like it's
If you made the Titans squid things.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that idea, but in space with tentacles.
Yeah.
But
Well,
so probably borrowing from some of the old mythology a little bit. And I think didn't you say something too? Like you've seen some things that are kind of more of like in the sort of Hindu
there's
mythology.
there's some mythologies like more Eastern mythologies where like the creation of the world was like an accident and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's part of some of the Lovecraft stuff that I've seen is that somehow or another they created the universe and humanity by accident.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly how you do that. Like, excuse me.
Well, my perspective on Lovecraftian media was that I kind of I took the term cosmic horror and just kind of extrapolated meaning out of that.
Yeah.
And I thought unspeakable, unknowable, undescribable horror. Like to me, that was the foundation of Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Where even to the point to where I thought Cthulhu himself and like the tentacles was just a way that popular media had described what Lovecraft was trying to describe. It's like, well, we want to visualize this tentacles.
Yeah.
And I had this at the end of this episode, but I'm going to talk about it now. I already touched on it. The stories that I was listening to on my trip, the complete works of H.P. Lovecraft. One of the things that really surprised me was like at the very beginning of At the Mountains of Madness, they find like a Cthulhu creature or a elder creature or whatever.
Okay.
They've an old one. They find one, and it has like a star-shaped head and tentacles that bifurcate. So it's like a tentacle that has multiple tentacles on it and like a barrel chest. And he like opens one up, and then there's a storm, and they go missing. And the dude just assumes, he's like, well, I guess the wind took them. Which I'm assuming the reader is supposed to think this. No, the storm happened because you messed with them.
Yeah.
So that really kind of shook me because I always thought that the creature designs from all these different Lovecraftian media
were kind of imposed on it.
Right. Was like a physical representation of abstract ideas that was in Lovecraft's film, but Lovecraft's media or his works. But no, that he was talking about these things, like the eldritch beings are a part of his works.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's cool. It's cool with me, but it does separate. Like if I had known that before last weekend, I probably wouldn't have suggested Lovecraft for this because Event Horizon doesn't have that.
Yeah, Event Horizon, I think at its core is definitely more satanic than Lovecraftian.
Yeah,
like they the black hole made a portal to something. It's like it didn't make a portal to something. It made a portal into
hell.
It was a doorway into hell.
Yeah, they were very very explicit.
And that's what you got to look forward to if that's where you want to go. You're gonna be in for some, what was it called, the blood orgy?
Blood orgy, goodness. That would have been a tentacle orgy if it was Lovecraftian.
Yeah, that was kind of when I was kind of reflecting on that movie. It's like there wasn't really anything in that. It was just all gross, torture and stuff, and that's satanic. That's not.
Which for the format of our podcast here is fine. We don't necessarily have to have our coffee service be directly tied to our main topic. Just we like for them to associate in some way.
We can learn as we go too. I think we both going into Event Horizon as a show and talking about it, getting ready for this, would say, that's Lovecraftian.
Yeah, and now we're like, oh well, kind of, not really. Has similar themes.
I think if you go into get into Google and Wikipedia and stuff, even they'll say it's Lovecraftian.
Yeah.
So we're not alone in that.
Now we are going to talk about in a little bit in the Mouth of Madness.
Yes. Now,
since I'm talking about the At the Mountains of Madness, I do want to mention that I don't think that In the Mouth of Madness, and I'll talk about why, is really related a lot to At the Mountains of Madness, but people say it is.
There is a relation there.
We'll talk about it.
Go there when you want to get there.
But. And kind of like my last point on Lovecraft media in general is I do think Lovecraft has been probably one of the greatest influences on modern horror.
Yeah.
Because I do see films like I said, I think there's some Clive Barker, but more Satan. John Carpenter.
Yeah.
I think John Carpenter is probably really influenced.
Oh yeah.
And like you're saying, Stephen King. I mean, there's
When you go back and think about
the tentacles of Lovecraft reach far and wide.
We just watched The Mist together.
Yeah,
And
yeah. It's definitely
some of that is
Lovecraftian.
definitely Revelation stuff with the beasts with human faces and human teeth. But then, if you think about the thing that comes up in the parking lot and gets one of them, it's like this thing. It's like walking like a crab. It comes down and grabs him and cuts somebody in half.
I still say that's a lobstrosity.
Yeah, it might have been. Might have been a
giant one.
A fully developed lobstrosity
Yeah.
from that. Then you had the big beast that you see at the end. That's just like a mountain with feet.
Yeah,
That's
with feet and tentacles.
Tentacles, and it has like like its own ecosystem living on it because it's such a big thing. And that Stephen King stuff is again, not spoiling anything with the Dark Tower stuff. It's pretty well known on that, at least, that all of these things that are working for the Crimson King and the Man in Black, who I guess it's a whole different discussion of who the Man in Black is. Is he Satan? Is he some representing something else? In the whole world of the Dark Tower stuff, our universe is held together by these like beams of energy, basically, and there's this whole group of people, the low people, they're trying to break those beams, because if they can make one collapse, then everything else collapses in on itself, and everything plunges into darkness, where Stephen King describes it. Things like this live, like it's somehow or another we're suspended over it or something. That this world of Cthulhu and Lovecraft is what's in the void, and if whatever it is that holds us together ever falls apart, then that's where we go. Which
is Pennywise considered one of those things?
I think Pennywise is kind of more. I've never really gotten into the It stuff that much. I've seen the movies. I've never read the book. I've always assumed that Pennywise is kind of more like just I don't think there's any direct ties back into any of the larger Dark Tower kind of story, other than he's just another sort of agent of chaos,
right?
Kind of thing, like a lieutenant of the Man in Black, if you wanted to go that far with it.
Okay, well, this is AI overview. I always feel like I have to do a disclaimer from reading it in AI overview, because AI makes stuff up.
Yeah, I think AI is less reliable than just going and talking to somebody at the local laundromat. But
right. Well, according to we could go to Game Rant, but I don't know. Anyway,
that's probably about like AI.
Yeah, the AI overview says Pennywise is connected to Stephen King's Dark Tower series through a concept of Todash space and its inhabitants, the Deadlights.
Yeah. So just something else.
So is the Deadlights in the Dark Tower?
Something else from the void.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And like the turtle was keeping him in check or something.
The cool things about oh my gosh, I almost had the name and I lost it, of the bear and the turtle, that there are beams that run between these spirit animals.
Oh.
Rabbit and I can't remember what they all are. There's actually like a poem that he has that names them all, and it's like all these connective beams. I think, is it Kadik or something? The bear. It seems like they encounter the bear. I can't remember now if I'm confusing some other property outside of it, or it's just fan art stuff I've seen where there's this giant bear with like a satellite dish on the back, and that's supposed to be him. But I think it's like in one of the books they encounter him. I don't remember. What's the name of that thing? Shardik. This
is from the Dark Tower wiki.
Yeah.
He's got a satellite on his head,
yeah,
like a little hat.
Yeah, like
he's a cyber bear. He's a cyborg bear that's 70 feet tall.
and he's one of the ends of, like, the broadcast station of one of the ends of the beams.
He's one of the 12 guardians of the beams.
Yeah. So,
man,
that's getting into a whole nother.
I like how insane the Dark Tower sounds from someone who's read the first 2 books.
Yeah. It really is kind of a work of genius that is finished exactly like everything else Stephen King's ever done. It's
a wet fart.
Yeah, it's just this. It's how did you come up with all this, and then how did you not have a way to ever end it?
Yeah.
You get into some stuff at the end. It's almost like he watched cable TV and wrote the ending or something. It's
one last note on what makes something Lovecraftian before we actually go into the films we want to talk about. For the longest time, Lovecraft came up. I don't know if he came up with the idea, but he popularized the idea of the Necronomicon.
Okay.
So for the longest time,
I remember seeing that somewhere
in my mind, and I've seen that film, but it's been so long I don't remember anything about it. Like I saw it back in the 90s, I think. But anyway, for the longest time, I thought Evil Dead had some connective tissues.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, no. Yeah, I would not consider Evil Dead Lovecraftian at all.
I remember reading something. It's been a long time ago about.
There was a film, just Necronomicon.
Okay. But yeah, that was kind of a thing that he originated the idea of.
Yeah, like I said, it might, like, the name might actually, like, reference an actual thing. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, he actually, I think he coined the term. But he did have that in his.
Yeah.
1993 was when the film Necronomicon came out. And I absolutely watched that film solely because I was real into Evil Dead. And I was like, hey, I recognize that word.
Any quality to the film or no?
I do not remember.
I don't know that I've ever actually seen that was a separate movie. I've always just known that from the Evil Dead stuff.
I mean, I just like I said. I mean, I remember watching it, but I don't remember the plot. No.
The only thing, my biggest continuing connection to the Necronomicon is, since I've seen it one time, I can't unsee it any other time. Anytime anybody around here makes any kind of like cherry cobbler or anything like that, it always looks like one.
Yeah.
There's always like this shriveled up looking thing on top with a little bit of red stuff coming through, and I'm like, I can't not see that every time I see. It's one of those conversations that's not even usually worth having with the people that make it, because I'm like, have you ever seen The Evil Dead? And they're like, what? I'm like, never mind.
Never mind. One thing about us doing this is definitely, what it has definitely done is give me a lot of things I want to watch, I want to get to, but more than I will ever will. I get thinking about the Necronomicon. I haven't thought about this in decades, really. I'd like to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was its existence, so I didn't know I was missing anything.
Yep. But the first film we're going to talk about, you brought The Void.
The Void, 2016.
Yep.
And I've watched this again recently, and it feels like more recent. It really is sort of not timeless, but it's got a lot of practical effects in it, a little bit of CGI stuff, but just really holds up. I mean, we're almost talking a decade ago.
Yeah. Well, really, that around mid-20 teens, from like 2010 to 2016, 2017, around there, is when CG was like good, and they were putting effort into it.
Yeah. They were just using it to augment stuff and make it look better, and not just relying on it completely post-production.
Right.
Over here where this big green area is, that's where all that's going to be after we send it to this studio in Florida and they work on it.
Yeah. Since then, I think studios have leaned on it too heavily.
Yeah. Void's it's a very simple, complicated story. The simple part is it opens with people fleeing a house, and I think setting it on fire, and there's like somebody shooting at somebody. I can't remember exactly the sequence there, but they're trying to get away from this place. The story takes you from there to these people in a hospital, I think they arrest somebody that's involved in something. You're good.
Excuse me.
They arrest somebody or pick somebody up from that opening scene at the house and take them to the hospital. So it becomes like almost like The Mist, like where the rest of the story takes place in this hospital.
Right.
They become trapped in it because all of a sudden they look outside and there's like this cult of people that are wearing like hoods with triangles on their faces, just surrounding it. And every time they go outside or try to go a different way, there's more of them. I know it's kind of jumping ahead, but like when they go out and try to like shoot at them and fight them, like they can't kill them, or if they do, they knock them down, they get back up. I don't remember all of that. And then as that movie progresses, you just kind of find out that several people in the hospital are part of the same cult, and it kind of becomes that storyline of there's people that are people in this cult have figured out how to contact these older entities, and that they are using it here in this story to cheat death and live in more powerful forms. And it gets kind of crazy. There's 100% a Lovecraftian film because there's that kind of body mutilation or mutation, both I guess mutation and mutilation, where these somebody gets killed or murdered or something, and you think, well, that's the end of that character, and then that person, just like in The Thing or something like that, they cut the head off the thing and it becomes like a different monster. And it's kind of the same thing in this. That just everything that that happens turns into something worse. there's a childbirth in this thing that's unpleasant and creates another monster, and kind of gets down to just a couple of the people that don't get killed kind of trying to fight against these cult members in the hospital. And I mean, it gets into them ending up in a fighting this main bad guy. I don't want to spoil who that is, but basically like tackling him, knocking him through like a portal you can see into this other dimension and falling into the dimension with him. I always thought it should have been like a movie that got a sequel, because your two heroes from the movie, that's how the movie ends.
Yeah.
Is they're just
standing at the triangle, right?
They're standing in the middle of this alternate world, looking around like, now what? And that's the end of the movie. So you're now what is like, I don't know what happens next. But it's a great watch. The practical effects in that. Did we throw that into our practical effects show? I can't remember.
I don't think it was.
If it wasn't, it was an honorable mention, because it was. There's a couple there that, as I think it's like a nurse and maybe one of the patients that gets killed, or you think gets killed, and just mutates into this thing. You get into these things that are, the bodies that are turned upside down and kind of walking backwards with things growing out of them, and pretty horrific nightmare fuel creatures, which again, that's another kind of word that I would kind of use for anything Lovecraftian, is the nightmare fuel.
Oh yeah.
Where you think about you go back to The Thing, and that thing that grows up and it's got that giant like misshapen head with the fangs and stuff. You see that thing one time, it's like, try being anything under the age of 40 and seeing that, and not having an awful dream about that at some point in the next week. It's a really fun movie. It's not loaded down with like famous actors and stuff, so it's just one of those movies. I guess that's one of the things you like about a movie that doesn't have a star in it, is that addition of the star usually means who's going to live. And this one, you're really like sitting there watching. There's a couple of characters you meet early, and you're like, yeah, hope they make it. And then you're like, oof, I don't think they're going to make it. They got stuff growing out of them.
The Void is one of those films that, at the time that I've seen it, kind of. Yeah. Like, it was on. Yeah. I was doing other stuff. I wasn't paying attention. So I would look up every now and again. I'm like, what's going on? Yeah. No, so I definitely, it's one of those things I probably should watch again.
You've got to follow it. It's got one of my favorite, like, sort of supporting character actresses in it. and it's just Ellen Wong, that's Knives Chow from Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, yeah.
She's in this. She was
Okay.
in. We were just talking about the hunt, and had the lady from the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Ellen Wong was a wrestler in there too. Uh, if for no other reason, my fandom for her is she's just freaking adorable. But she's a good actress too. But she is she is just a really cute girl and always seems very likable. And it's an awful movie for her to get thrown into.
Like can't hurt your film if you have a likable, cute girl in it.
Yeah.
So it looks like back in like 2021, the director said that regarding a Void sequel. I feel like we won't be seeing a sequel to The Void in the foreseeable future just because of some of the legal stuff it's tied up with. Jared and I have talked about what follow-up versions would be, but the pure logistics of doing a follow-up is too difficult to unravel at this time.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it'd be I mean, good. The nice thing about the way they shoot the movie is it is just this kind of, because of Lovecraft, and I think the kind of the stuff that he kind of put in everybody's mind for this greater void universe, these demigods and entities and stuff, that you can end the movie by being like, they fell into that,
and no one knows what happened to them.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the end
The
of
unknown is a part of the
end of the
experience.
event horizon.
Yeah.
Is they shoot half of the ship back through the black hole, and then the girl's still seeing Sam Neill show up again. You're not sure. It's like, did they make it out or not? You know.
I wonder if they ever considered having Miller be the last like thing, like the last scare,
Yeah.
instead of Sam Neill's character. Oh,
Yeah, just having one of the ones that made it out be,
we'll show that he's been like
yeah,
corrupted
yeah,
or taken.
that they got.
Yeah, they got him.
They made it out, but you got another occultist with you.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing too, to kind of think about the Lovecraftian stuff, is that it does seem very cultish.
Yeah.
Like if you believe in all this stuff, that you're a part of this like weird doomsday cult almost. And
yeah, I'm going to talk about that in the next thing. That's very much a part of Lovecraft, is the cult aspect.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. That was another movie that I almost wanted to throw into this, and it's a series of movies. The Endless. Have you ever seen that?
No, I don't think so. Let me see. Let me look it up. Doesn't sound familiar.
The coolest thing about The Endless is there was a movie that happened prior to that from these same two guys. I don't remember if they're brothers or just friends, but they act in the movies. And
that is solely because I thought the poster was cool. Is on my like Fandango wish list. So if it ever shows up for cheap, buy.
They made a movie before that's about these guys that are like kind of trapped in a cabin, and I haven't seen that movie yet. But when in The Endless, the characters in the movie The Endless, in their journey through where they go back to visit this doomsday cult, actually end up at one point at the cabin. So like,
okay,
this movie that had already taken place. It's
Spring
like,
is what you're thinking of, the movie before.
No, not Spring. That's
okay.
That's a different body horror kind of alien thing.
Synchronic? No,
it is.
That looks like it was after. Synchronic is after Endless.
Is it Occupant? It's Resolution.
Resolution.
Yeah.
Okay.
But just the fact that they like these characters in this cabin know that they're stuck in like this time loop.
That's cool.
And they apparently they're just there forever, I guess. And
right.
The characters in Endless actually encounter the people, interact with the people at the cabin, and leave. And like you go off and you even see like the time loop reset of the people in the cabin. It's like they're aware that they're stuck, and they just know there's no way out. And then that seemed like very Lovecraftian, but there really wasn't any of the kind of body horror. It's really just this idea of there being this like time loop.
And see, I don't know if I would even associate body horror specifically with Lovecraft.
Yeah.
I think
because of the movies that I think are Lovecraftian. I do
like
like
Color
the
Out of Space.
Color Out of Space, The
Yeah, that was
Thing.
literally after one of his books, The Thing.
Yeah, and Mouth of Madness. Some of the creatures in that. I think of all that as being Lovecraftian. I think stuff like the Endless, if you read maybe more of his stuff, probably gets into that category too. Like there's a dude in a tent in the Endless that is sitting in a chair. He gets up out of the chair, he runs across the tent, disappears, and reappears in the chair. He's like in a 3-second time loop, and he can't get out of it. And
That's frustrating.
yeah, yeah, it's like there's all these things happening like in this world that these other guys are in, um, and not any real kind of great resolution to it other than you're just kind of left to kind of try to figure out the whole thing. It was very fascinating to watch. I'm not sure if I liked it or not. It was just I liked it because I liked the having to think about stuff part of it. But yeah, the stuff with like the void, where you would go with that, I don't know. It'd be you'd have to really develop that world they fell into and have I guess your story would be trying to get out of it.
Some movies are special because they're singular.
Yeah.
You know, like if they made more of the void, it might ruin what the void was, you know.
I think if the same guy made it where he understood what he did in the first one,
right,
you can do it. If somebody else, I was thinking like Silent Hill, first Silent Hill to the second Silent Hill.
Yeah.
I think somebody else made the second one. Mm-hmm. It was awful.
Yeah.
The first one was great for a video game adaptation.
It was a fantastic. I think it was probably the best video game adaptation. One of the best video game adaptations.
And if you had somebody that understood all of the creatures and the characters you made in the first one and had that taking place in this world they fell into, it'd be a great sequel. But you know, somebody else jumping in and do it. I couldn't jump in and do it because I don't have the vision of everything that he had a vision of. I just saw what he did in the film The Void, and it was pretty creepy stuff. But you had a doctor that was helping a lady give birth to a creature, and just all kinds of crazy stuff going on in there.
Yeah.
So it's excellent movie.
I need to watch it again.
Yeah. And
so
anytime you want to,
let you know.
If I'm free, I'll join you because that's a fun rewatch.
So simply because of the name, I watched a 2005 film, Call of Cthulhu. Now, when I started watching this, I was like, wait a minute, 2005? This is a black and white silent film.
Okay.
Made in 2005.
Well, I was looking at the thing. I was like, wow, that looks like a 60s or 70s movie.
Yeah. And they it was funny because I started watching it, and one of the guys in the very beginning, he didn't read as like a guy from the silent era, you know, like he seemed like a modern man, and so I had to look it up, and yeah, it was a film made by the Lovecraft Historical Society, and it was just it's a short film, and it's just about this this man who gets these notes from his like uncle, his great uncle that died, and he's just going through the notes and kind of unraveling what his uncle was up to, and he starts to learn about the Cthulhu cult, and as he learns about the Cthulhu cult, he goes insane, and that's pretty much the story. It's very, very, I think it's like 47 minutes. Yeah, it's a short film. I'm glad it was short because it's silent. And I've never really watched silent films before, but it did this thing that I thought was very interesting where, we all know what you see the person talk and then it goes to the frame of what they said.
Yep.
But a lot of it was like they would, for the exposition that you had to know, they would do that. But other times you'd see them say something and they'd just be mouthing it. And you know what they say from their mouth, but it doesn't have the next frame that has what they said. So I'm kind of curious at this point. I'm like, well, is that how silent films were actually done?
Yeah, I don't. My only connection with silent films at all is just seeing little clips of
Buster Keaton
of Nosferatu.
Oh, Nosferatu, yeah.
And that was because we just watched the remake of it.
Fantastic.
It's very good. I wanted to just see some stuff of the first one because there is a lot in that one where they really do try to recreate and shoot from the same angle, some of the same scenes.
Oh, cool. So you like side-by-side comparisons?
Yeah. To where even like the placement of the characters was, they tried to emulate that. Mm-hmm. So that's the only reason I've ever even paid attention to any silent film stuff. And prior to that, it was just that scene of Nosferatu and SpongeBob where he's flicking the lights on and on in the one episode. That's my exposure to silent film.
I'm not exactly recommending the Call of Cthulhu. It's one of those things where if you're a fan of Lovecraft explicitly, it's probably cool to see one of his short stories, brought to life.
Yeah.
I'm assuming pretty faithfully because of who this was made by.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's a society of people that are all into his stuff,
Yeah.
then
Well,
they're probably as capable of getting that right as anybody else.
well, these are the same people that is I got and this happened to me independently. Like I watched Call of Cthulhu, and then I was like, oh, I have these books on my Audible, and the same producers, the same people produce this, so they are very very heavy on the respect of Lovecraft.
I'm already picturing these people though.
You might want to see what they look like.
I'm sure a meeting of the Society of Lovecraft is probably be a pretty interesting one to walk in on.
That don't really look like what I thought they would look like. I bet they have fun.
Yeah. That's interesting.
All right, the next film is one that we've both seen.
Yeah.
In the Mouth of Madness.
The Mouth of Madness is kind of what I almost wish they had done with Event Horizon, where you have that insanity trip that gets into the tentacles and the body horror and the monsters from the void and the things from the darkness coming into it. Because that's really, it opens in an asylum and it ends in an asylum, and most of the movie is a flashback.
Right.
Well, it was before Event Horizon. It was 1995.
Yes.
That it came out. And like everything else, it lost money.
Yep.
So that's just the thing, I guess. The whole idea is that, Sutter Kane is sort of Stephen Kingish type character.
I was going to say that. I'm assuming that was exactly what they were going for.
I think it kind of was. But they actually say that, I think there's a line in the movie that's like, Stephen King doesn't have a thing on Sutter Kane or something. Like they actually acknowledge that, and they're like, nah, like Stephen King ain't got nothing on us. That might be a John Carpenter shot at Stephen King or something.
Probably.
But the author disappears, and his novels are turning people insane. Sam Neill, I don't know what the character's name was. Basically, is hired as a private investigator to go figure out, by the publication company, to figure out what happened to their author. He thinks it's a publicity stunt. They're trying to sell it in the media as, he's really disappeared, and actually goes to Hobbs End. And it turns out like Hobbs End is a town that the author Sutter Kane created. And
that's where I got like the Stephen King vibes, because like Stephen King's always like in Maine. Like he has his area where he wants all of his stories to take place.
Yeah. As I thought that was kind of cool. I guess that's kind of maybe the overlaying thing of the whole movie is that how soon did the investigator go crazy?
Right.
Because he goes in with the lady from the publication company, and I think probably as you get into the movie, you kind of find out that she's probably already drank the Kool-Aid and is already more part of that. And Kane, the Sutter Kane author, just is like, he says that the number of people that believe in him and his works have made it real and have given it power.
Right.
So it's almost like it's very cultish there. And he's it's really about kind of dissolving reality and returning to the old ones, I think is how they refer to it in that. And the Sam Neill character, I didn't look that what his actual name is in the thing. It doesn't matter.
No.
He gets back and destroys thinks he's got the script and tries to destroy it, and finds out that he actually brought the script back to the company months ago, and now they've made a movie, so it's worldwide. And it kind of, this whole thing is like, does he ever even almost kind of wonder if there's actually any trip into this world at all, or if it's all just him going insane because he read a book and he's just living inside this Sutter Kane reality or something. Um, very, very cool put together story. How many memes have come out of that that movie of like him on the bus screaming and him laughing at the end, stuff like that.
It's definitely one of those stories where it leaves you questioning, like, well, what is the story we saw because he's insane, or is he insane because of the story we saw?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I always thought that that everything turns him crazy, but it's like he opens there, he closes there in the insane asylum, and actually by the end, because the thing's gone worldwide, the whole world is in chaos, and there's monsters attacking people all over the world, and he just basically gets out of the insane asylum because it's just something happened outside, and it's like there's monsters and stuff there. You see a lot of tentacles in that in that movie. Um,
Yeah, the creature effects are pretty cool.
the girl from the company that goes with him, she does the thing where she flips upside down and starts like walking like a spider with her head upside down, and you've got the little lady at the end that's like she's got her husband like chained up, and she's got like a big long tentacle tail, and you see all kinds of tentacles through the doors and stuff. There's all kinds of that body horror stuff in it. And I think you even see that at, like there's a picture in the I guess I don't know if it's in the hotel or if it's in the I think it is in the
Oh, with
hotel.
those like two people,
There's
like
two people that keep
next to the pond.
every time you see it, it's changing, and by the end of the movie, it's like this horrible looking tentacle beast
Yeah,
and stuff.
that
But
was weird.
as far as like the Lovecraft stuff goes, all of the Kane books are just like a word off of different Lovecraft stories.
Okay.
They show like all these different books that he's written, and there's posters up about them, and they're all supposed to be. They talk about, I don't know if Carpenter or whoever wrote the movie. I'll talk about how this thing is just a complete nod to Lovecraft. And
See, I was going to say that I don't think, just from, I haven't finished at the Mountains of Madness, but just from what I've gotten through on Audible, In the Mouth of Madness isn't like inspired by that. If anything, it's like an homage to Lovecraft.
yeah,
because like narratively, it's completely different.
yeah, it's its own story.
Yeah.
The he goes when he's actually. I guess the way it happens in the movies, he goes and finds Kane in this cathedral at Hobbs End, and Kane puts his head into the book and makes him actually see the whole reality of his little world that he's created, and then like he tries to run away, and the creatures are already kind of breaking through the door, and but it's weird, like when the door breaks open, it's like the pages are just it's like little pieces of page being torn back. Then he runs down a hallway and he's being pursued by all kinds of. Those have to be some of the most Lovecraftian beasts that have ever been made on film. If you want to see something cool, pause that if you watch it sometime and
check them out
and look at the details on those beasts. It's like
there's
wow.
a lot of behind the scenes photos and stuff where you can get some really good views of those creatures.
Yeah. I've never seen any of that. I've done that watching the movie. I'm like,
what's going on with that thing?
You pause it and you're like, wow, that's horrifying. It's like too bad there wasn't more of that. But
it just occurred to me it would have been cool if they had the writer credit, because the writer was Michael DeLuca, but it would have been cool if it was Sutter Kane.
Oh yeah,
like give the writer credit of this film to Sutter. Yeah, that would have been a cool little like fourth wall thing.
Was it like the the guys that the Coen brothers? They have a screenwriter or something, alias like Roderick James or something.
Really?
Who's actually, it's just an alias they've made up, and he's won like awards. They've actually given him awards, and it's like, oh, he never shows up. It's like, we made him up. I don't remember if it's supposed to be like a sound thing, like a sound design. He's something of something. He's just a name they've created.
Okay, that's cool. I like it. I like it when
that would be awesome if they did that, to where you did that with the writer of this and he won some awards, and be like, Sutter Kane, come on up. Especially if
he's a recluse. He's not here.
Especially if you had some beast ready to come off stage and just be like, Watch all the people in Hollywood trample each other. That'd be entertainment. Yeah, Mouth of Madness. I said that we were talking about it. I think in the last section that we filmed, that at the end, the he goes and sees it in the theater and is watching it, and he's like in a straight jacket and just starts laughing uncontrollably and stuff. But I've always contended that it looks like he's starting to swell up in the neck, like he's turning into some kind of monster because he's come to believe the world that Kane wrote in him.
Right.
He says the more people that believe in it, the more it makes it real. So
one thing about this film, you do have to go into it with a grain of salt and just take the narrative as it gives you, because there is a lot of like pseudo intellectual concepts, like concepts that take the concept that they give you and just accept it for this world, because if you try to dissect it much, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
What you write is reality. Okay. Ever see the movie Stranger Than Fiction?
Can we pause right there?
Yep. When I go, okay, that'll be a good spot.
Yep.
Okay. All right. 1 hour 4.
Too much coffee.
Yeah.
Let's keep squeaking that chair because I have to keep shifting, because otherwise I'm just going to pee on myself.
Hey, how you doing? Would you be willing to go pick up Tasha if she's ready? Okay, I'll let her know to text you if she wants to be picked up, because I'll probably be another hour. Okay, thanks. All right, bye.
I don't know what the difference is on Patrick coffee and then soda. I'm fine. If I drink soda and then follow it with coffee, it's like I just got given some kind of like medicine that like clears your freaking.
It's like beer before liquor, never been sicker. Liquor before beer, you're in the clear.
Man. It hits me and I'm like, man, I ain't gonna make it. It's like, I gotta get to the bathroom. So I guess when we start back, it was with a have you ever seen, whatever you're asking.
Yeah. For them. All right. And unpause is about minute 6. Hour 6, not minute 6. Bring this back up. There you go. Have you ever seen Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell?
I don't. I know of it. I don't think I've ever actually watched it.
Okay. It's one of my favorite films. I think it's Will Ferrell's best performance, and I didn't realize until I was looking back at In the Mouth of Madness and I read synopsis. I didn't watch it again, but I read synopsis to kind of refresh my memory.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of like, oh yeah, because again, I saw this back years ago and I haven't seen it since. But the premise of Stranger Than Fiction is this character realizes that he's a character in someone's book.
Yeah.
They never explain it, like not even cosmically, like In the Mouth of Madness, where it's like, well, his writing is creating the world, and it's a power that I guess anybody has if you have enough people who believe it. It's none of that. It's just, hey, it just so happens to be you're in her book. Yeah. It's a great film.
The whole idea that's also
it's not hard.
That could sort of ally within the In the Mouth of Madness is that none of this happens, that this is just a story that he created,
Yeah.
and that you just watch the character play out the story. And
Right.
there is no destruction of the world or cosmic horror. It's just
Yeah.
that you just got to see it from the perspective of a character. But it's a fun, it's super rewatchable. I've watched that movie so many times. It's a good one.
Movie I've watched a few times is Annihilation.
I've
Ever
watched
seen
it.
it?
Watched it once.
Okay. Now, again, I had this on the list before we kind of started defining what we consider Lovecraftian. This was more what I was thinking before, was like, well, Lovecraftian is just cosmic. Clearly, this is cosmic and unknown horrors.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where because the premise of Annihilation is there's this meteorite that crashes on a beach, and it creates this area, and there's like almost like a force field, a bubble of energy that's growing, and that anything that gets caught in this bubble mutates in certain ways. Now, really, it's an allegory for cancer.
I was getting ready to say I had it in my head that it was almost like cancer.
I
And then
think
somebody else suggested like to me one time that it was about like divorce or something, and I can't remember enough to dig into those kind of things with it without seeing it again.
I'm of the mind, and I've always been of the mind, that you can read into most stories whatever you want
and find something.
Yeah, you can read into a lot of stuff, but I'm pretty sure that like the writer at one point did talk specifically that he was struggling with family members with cancer at the time.
Yes.
But just the unknown nature of the story, like when they go into the area with all the mutations and whatnot, unknown of what's happening, some of the body horror as well, the way things mutate, and again, the cosmic part. That's kind of why I was thinking Annihilation was more Lovecraftian. But man, I'm fine with saying, man, you need some tentacles if you're going to be Lovecraft. And kind of like Event Horizon, where you can envision, I could see how this could have been more Lovecraftian, have some tentacles come out of the gravity drive, or when Sam Neill's character came back to life, or when he manifested whatever it was, manifest him as like a tentacle creature.
Yeah.
Like you could see how that could be. And Annihilation is a similar way. Like if they got to the beach and it was like the meteorite was just like inside of it was just this big tentacle creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could, and that still would have fit within a lot of the themes.
Yeah, because it's like, things were getting mutated. There was some kind of weird alligator mutation early in that.
Mm-hmm. Some deer.
You saw deer that were like growing like plants,
flowers on their head,
and then you got that weird boar cow thing that yells at them.
There's a bear,
yeah. Whatever that thing was.
Yeah, it was a bear that had like merged with somebody at one point.
Something happens late in that too, and I don't remember. They go to it, and there's like stuff moving around inside a person. Like there's like their guts are crawling around or something kind of.
Yeah, that was early on in the film. Like one of the characters, it was like they found because they were following a crew that they lost track of, and they found a video camera, and on the camera they were showing that a guy's guts was moving like a snake or something. Yeah, like it was like his guts were alive. Yeah,
that's one of those movies we watched it, and it was sort of a head scratcher, and probably one of those things that, like I was mentioning before, that you should read the background on like Donnie Darko and then go back and watch it, because it really changes how you watch it.
I'll definitely read, because Donnie Darko is one that I watch every so often. So I'll definitely read the background on it before I watch it again.
There's a whole fleshed out thing that's super elaborate. That's pretty interesting to read. I'd be curious to get some background on that and watch it again, because I know just watching it again would be probably not much more enlightening than seeing it the first time without some sort of director explaining what it was they're trying to get to, or kind of what the point was. It's the allegory for cancer makes sense. It was
Yeah.
I don't remember enough of the specific things that happened. I just remember there's a lot of characters that were kind of cool in it. Like Benedict Wong was, I know that was kind of an earlier role for him. He kind of became the guy you see in all the Marvel movies as part of Doctor Strange's monastery or whatever. But I like seeing him in some of the earlier stuff. I always liked him as a actor.
Wasn't Oscar Isaacs in it as well?
In Annihilation, yeah.
Yeah, he was the husband.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. Usually, I'm like, wow, that movie's that old. I didn't realize that movie was only in 2018. I thought it was older than that.
I thought so too. I thought it'd been a while.
Yeah, I was thinking like 2014. Where's the cast? Here we go.
Yeah, Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Long. He was great in Weapons. Yeah, Oscar Isaac is in it.
Yeah.
I always want to pluralize his last name, Isaacs.
Kind of like
because of Ivan Isaacs from the Priest manga. That's why.
It's kind of like a less annoying
Pedro Pascal.
If you start counting the things he's in and watching the number of things he's in a lot of stuff. But he's a better actor.
Yeah, I'm fine with him being in more and more things. That's fine.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman I thought was fantastic in it, and I have watched the last scene of Annihilation where they actually like find the alien thing, like twice as much as I've watched Annihilation. I will just put that last scene on.
Oh.
And the soundtrack, weirdly enough, is in my Spotify playlist. That and Tron.
Yeah.
Man, I'll chill out to both of those soundtracks. They're great. Again, I would consider it a cosmic horror, but not Lovecraftian.
I never got super horror vibes from it. It was kind of more sci-fi, alien mystery kind of thing.
Yeah.
There was never too much in there where you're like, oof, you know.
I think for me, it was the unknown part. It was like you don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
You don't know what's causing this.
Yeah.
And it was all leading up to the realization of, well, you didn't really even get a good answer, but you got some answer.
You put it up against Event Horizon and The Void and the Mouth
so
of
different.
Madness. It's one of these kids that's doing his own thing.
Yeah.
There, it's not.
Yeah, I fully admit that this is like one of these things are not like the other.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The other ones have got a lot of, sitting back, big eyes, like, oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of confusing things in that, but maybe not quite as horrific.
Yeah. Aside from the living guts, there's really not a lot of stuff that's going to make you go, ew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was more confused than probably horrified by the screaming bear, cow, pig, boar, whatever that was.
Right.
I didn't know what to do with that when that happened. But
talking about it's making me want to watch it again.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch that again. There's a lot there, I know, but just not enough that I retained from watching it one time. So
right,
that's a good sign of a good movie. Yeah. Something that takes a couple watches to kind of absorb it all means that there actually was some effort put into it.
Mm-hmm. And I've never seen this film. I never even heard of Glorious.
Speaking of stuff that's horrific, Glorious it's a 2022 Shudder movie. And kind of one of my regrets I have at the moment, I think, is that we had AMC Plus with Shudder. I don't regret not having AMC Plus because I don't care where Daryl is right now and what country he and Carol are fighting zombies in, and that seems to be what that whole streaming service is riding on.
I get I'll come across some like clip or trailer for what they're currently doing in The Walking Dead. The latest one was like Negan was in Paris.
I'd say he was in New York last time.
New York. He was somewhere, and he was in like some zombie fight club, and he was fighting this zombie, and he realizes this isn't a zombie, this is a person. Ooh, woo.
I just don't. I don't have.
They've lost the plot, man.
I don't have any interest there, though. It seems like somehow or another AMC Plus had some sort of tie-in with Better Call Saul. I don't know if it was because they
isn't AMC the the not Walking Dead, the Breaking Bad. They made Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul,
It
didn't
might
they?
have been.
Yeah.
But I remember like they only had it on there like for the week that it was out.
Oh,
And like we missed a couple episodes of it and got so mad at AM at having that service and not having
oh,
access to the thing.
there are some services that do that. I hate it. They're like, you've got this for 2 weeks and then it's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was just
hate
like,
that they do that.
that was kind of what broke our back on. We're just getting rid of this service, and by doing that, we lost Shutter, unfortunately, because I've said it before, and I still kind of maintain that Shutter is one of the few things out there that's actually promoting original stuff and things that are interesting.
I would say right now, Shutter and A24.
Yeah.
Like, I will at least pay attention.
Yeah, there's a couple of A24 things that are coming out that I'm just going to probably dodge.
Well, at one point, I would say back when they did what was that movie about the multiverse?
The A24 one.
Yeah, it's not absolutely everything. That was a
Everything all at once.
everything. Yeah, everything all at once.
Yeah.
That around that time when that came out, I was enjoying pretty much everything A24 was doing, and I was like, if A24 makes it, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
But Bo was
if
afraid.
A24, I'll pay attention to it.
Bo was afraid was an A24.
Oh, it was? Okay.
That was kind of a breaker for me. I was like, I'm not going to get into the graphic part of that. That was just like, I didn't need to see that, and I don't want to ever see that again. But I actually was sitting there watching that with my daughter and her boyfriend, and I was like,
oh, that was uncomfortable.
well, I mean, they're adults, but it was
still awkward.
It was still just like, really? This is what we're doing? Okay.
Right.
But
speaking of AMC, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul,
you're gonna get me
Rhea Seehorn.
You're gonna get me excited if you bring up pictures of Rhea Seehorn.
Did you see that there's a new TV series coming out starring her?
I did not.
Called Pluribus. It's upcoming.
It could be
sign me up. I'll watch it.
It could be making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I'd watch it. I don't know what it was about that woman.
I definitely think as much as even more than Saul Goodman like stole the show in Breaking Bad. Yeah. I think Rhea stole the show in Better Call Saul.
I don't know what it was about her that just she captivated me and still does. I haven't seen her.
I think Vince Gillian as well. Gillian, is that his name? Gillian, the guy who made it. Vince Gillian, is it Gillian?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. I think Vince Gillian as well because he's giving her a show. So, yeah. And yeah, it is by the same guy who made Better Call Saul. So,
yeah,
it has all the ingredients to be fantastic. That'll as soon as we'll put it on here as one of our upcoming. As soon as there's a trailer or something.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Back to Glorious.
Back to Glorious. Jeez, sorry.
Gonna mess up my Rhea Seehorn vibe. I have to talk about this thing. Definitely like a little small budget, small world thing. The whole idea is that you're introduced to this guy who just experienced a breakup. I say air quotes on that. Who stops in a rest area, burns all of the stuff that he has in the car, I guess, that are pictures of his girlfriend and stuff, gets drunk, goes into the stall to vomit, and the man in the stall next to him starts talking to him, and you find out. We good there? Is that
120? I think I just need to hit close.
Okay.
It's 20%. We got plenty of time just to get it close. All right, hang on a sec. Around 122. All right, go ahead.
And you find out that the quote, air quotes again, man in the stall, is, I'm going to try to say this, is Gatanotha.
Okay.
It was voiced by J.K. Simmons, which instantly made this like increase my interest in this because I love J.K. Simmons. Gatanotha, I don't know if this is anything based on any kind of lore from anything else or not, is a demigod created by the primordial god.
Okay.
And this primordial god, that's his father accidentally created the universe and humanity. So I don't know if it's supposed to be the Cthulhu itself,
right,
or something that's greater than that, or whatever. The primordial god, the Cthulhu or whatever it is, sent Gathanoa, Gatanathoa, I'm never going to say that the same way twice, to destroy his mistakes, basically to wipe out humanity and destroy our universe. Um, Gatanotha has siblings, so there's multiple of these demigods that they thought the father was out of control. They locked him away, however you lock away a Cthulhu, and
A
Gatanotha
triangle.
Gatanotha comes to Earth to hide,
Okay.
so that he can't be forced to carry out his father's thing to destroy your thing. And it's kind of, while he was hiding from his father, he's here on Earth.
Cthulhu and teenage angst.
Observes a bunch of people in humanity and becomes to like humanity, so he doesn't want to destroy it.
In all actuality, that would have happened the opposite way.
Might have.
He would have found out about humanity and be like, kill him.
Oh, yeah. That depends on where he went.
Right.
If he came to the mountains of Southwest Virginia, he'd be like, man, you guys are awesome. You send him to like New Jersey, he'd be like, nope, time to go, guys. But they locked him away and he's escaped. So I'm going to just start calling it Gat instead of trying to say this again, because I'm going to spit on myself trying to say it. Gat is hiding from him. And this whole thing is taking place in the 2 stalls in the restroom in a rest area. And he starts telling the boyfriend that had to break up all this stuff and going back and forth with this whole story, and he doesn't believe it. And I think he, at some point, like, this guy wanders into the rest area and he shows him his power by just like obliterating this guy and like blows him all over the bathroom. Of course, the guy freaks out and tries to get out. And I think on the cover of it, you see him standing there holding a leg. That's the leg of the guy that comes into the restroom that he basically picks up, because it's the only thing that's like in one piece that's still in the restroom, and he tries to break out of the restroom with that leg. So I mean, when it goes there,
so it's an actual leg. It's not like a prosthetic.
Yeah, no, it's what's left of this poor guy that wanders into this scenario.
Jeez.
Once this movie goes to the violent part, it goes full on just blood everywhere, lots of corn syrup and.
I was about to say, is it because like the type of blood I like in films is like when it's over the top, like it's so much,
it's dripping off the ceilings, literally.
Yeah, I like that.
And
when it's plausible, I get squeamish. Yeah.
I don't want to go into the details on this part because I just don't like acknowledging that kind of demented sexual depravity stuff. But you could take it from the title that there's a hole in the stall that relates to the title.
You've told me about that. You've talked about this before. The J.K. Simmons, you told me about it.
I don't even like to have to be aware that that's a thing.
Yeah.
But it is, I guess, somewhere in a rest area or something. And the Gat says that he needs, the way the boyfriend understands it is that he needs for him to do that act,
stick it in
to this hole in the wall. He actually does that, and the Gat character is like, "What are you doing?" And what he's basically saying is he needs a body sacrifice from him. And I think he says, "I just need your liver." And he just wants him to cut like his liver out to give it to him. And I think it helps.
Cut your own liver out?
Yeah. And something about
goodness,
a willing sacrifice from a human will let him like get out of this form and be able to fully escape, and never, that way the thing can never come through and find him and make him destroy it or something like that. Don't remember those exact details. It's a very cool ending to this thing. It's a little horror twist that I won't spoil because that would kind of defeat the purpose.
Yeah, I kind of want to see it.
Of watching it. The presence of J.K. Simmons in it, it adds that. It's not a comedy by any means, but that levity that he brings to it.
Sarcasm.
Just
Well, he's kind of like J.K. Simmons is like a pleasant, like, atmosphere to him, you know. He's a pleasant person.
He's like another Morgan Freeman.
Yeah,
When he narrates something, it's like, yeah, I'm listening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing what you're selling, J.K.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman being the voice of an eldritch god. would be awesome. Well, he was the voice of God in
The way this character is portrayed, the Gat character, Morgan
Yeah.
Freeman completely could have done it if he could have
Nice.
ever got him to agree to it. I'm sure he would have been like, I don't think so, guys. Take away the name and change the premise of that, and maybe we could go there. But
Yeah, J.K. Simmons seems to be a bit more up for whatever.
yeah, no, he's not, of celebrities that I would like to meet. Most of the ones that I really truly would have liked to have met have passed away.
Hmm.
He's probably one of the only living ones.
Well, it's gonna keep happening, man. We're getting older every day.
Well, I'm going to join him at some point.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll meet him in another way later. But
maybe.
the I love his work. I really want to tell you like the way it ends, which it really it's a nice twisty ending to it with the what actually happens. So, and again, this is like it's a Shutter thing. I can't imagine they spent even $1 million on a movie like this.
Yeah.
It, the effects literally were just spraying the inside of a rest area with blood and giving him a fake leg to beat against the door, and that's about it. But it comes across just so well. It's a tight written little story.
Do you know where you can watch it right now?
Whoever it's a Shutter original.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else has access. I've seen a few Shutter things pop up on other services.
Tubi, free on Tubi.
Wow, I might do that later today.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch it.
I didn't realize I missed that. Actually,
I'm going to search, make sure it's free on Tubi.
Well, we just turned from August, September too, so a lot of times first of the month you get a lot of stuff.
When I was looking stuff up, that was one of the things that I saw was like new for September.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. The Glorious 7. Like it might have been free, but not no longer. I'm not seeing it on Tubi.
Yeah. Oh well.
Man, there's so many movies like just from the poster. I'm like, yeah, that looks awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Glorious is fun. It's not. I don't like the premise of it just being around a glory hole. That's
kind of like the hook.
Could it? Yeah, I think it's a way to just sort of hook you in to watch it, where somebody's like, let's watch this thing. You could have gotten there without that little part of it, and it would have been the same. You could have had some sort of play on a rest area or bathroom stall or some toilet humor or something, and probably got there, and I would have been more comfortable. I don't like even using that term and talking with somebody because I just don't like to acknowledge that kind of depravity. But
so it looks like right now the only way to watch it is through an AMC Plus subscription.
Yeah,
because like Amazon AMC Plus,
there's a
Roku
lot of
AMC Plus.
The other thing that like AMC Plus and Shutter had was like they would get these groups of movies, like old stuff. Like they'd get all the Rambo movies and have them for a month, and they'd get like all the Die Hard movies and have them for a month. And that really was the only bonus to that, is that you could get a group of kind of retro movies and watch all of them. They would seem like they really sought out packages, but the rest of it was just all these Walking Dead things that were just kind of became insufferable. But
I have the same problem with all media, really. Is I get so far behind, like it's daunting to catch up. So like with the Shutter movies, like at this point there are so many of them that I haven't seen that I'm just I can't catch up on these now. Yeah. There are just so many. They're a very prolific studio.
Yeah, I think they turn them out because they're not expensive to make.
Yeah,
and it's really like sort of diving into the world of like people's short stories and just digging out the good ones and turning them into films. Mm-hmm. And this had to have been like based on some kind of short story. It's too fleshed out to just be something somebody just threw together. I mean, yeah, it's a solid, it's a really cool like little circular story. You could completely in writing it do it in less than 100 pages. Some of the extra stuff that happens in the movie is probably just to stretch it out, honestly. But based on the short story, it's not based on a short story.
It says it's not.
Yeah.
So let's look up who the writer is. Screenplay by Joshua Hull and David Ian McKendry. Because that's what a lot of times when you find something that's kind of unique, I like to see what else the people are doing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they're like just a talented person.
Yeah.
All right, this guy, Joshua Hull,
Yeah.
he has written just a few things. Beverly Lane, The Impersonators, Bethlehem, Chopping Block, and Glorious. Oh,
Yeah. The fact that I even knew Glorious is just really running across it because I had that streaming service. Because outside of that, I would have never heard of it.
right.
And it was one of those things that was like you saw it. I think you could watch trailers there for their movies and watch the trailer, and I was like, and maybe after everybody goes to bed, I'll try this thing. And if it's too bad, I can turn it off.
And the other writer, whose name is David Ian McKendry.
Seems like I've heard that.
So I'm going to go through them real quick. Feather, Double Life of Deanna St. Clair, The Dump, The Barista, Witch's Brew, Found, Exquisite Corpse, All the Creatures Are Stirring, Psycho Granny, Separation, Sins in the Suburbs, Glorious, and Elevator Game.
Not a thing.
I don't have none of those ever.
And that kind of comes back to like how many of those are that same level, kind of cool, little small world stories. I mean, there might be some good stuff there,
Yeah.
but who knows?
Yeah.
I stumbled across this thing and it's completely Lovecraftian. It's as Lovecraftian as you get. He's literally trying to stop the old beings.
There are tentacles on the poster.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the next thing I want to talk about is a series of not even a series, a pair of games called the Call of Cthulhu. Now, the first one, Call of Cthulhu, was made in 2005. It's the Dark Corners of the Earth. It's a first-person action game. It's almost kind of like an RPG, and it was made for the original Xbox back in the day. They haven't remade it. They haven't updated it. But I remember it being, and this was really my first time really like recognizing that like Lovecraftian was a thing.
Yeah.
Because I played it just because it looked cool. And still to this day, I think it holds up, man. Let's see. I'm going to show you a screenshot. And it's dated, yes, but it still looks good. And it's got that unsettling feeling to it.
Between Resident Evil 2 to 4 kind of look.
Yeah.
Probably closer to 4, but.
And I like seeing the idea of Lovecraftian type media get extended to other media.
So what were you doing in the game?
You were an investigator.
Okay.
Investigating the cult of Cthulhu.
Gotcha.
And
sacrifices and stuff like that.
Right. And it was all set. It's been 20 years since I played this. Like in Louisiana or something.
Yeah.
Like it was like in the bayou. And so it had that like gritty, swampy feeling to the whole game.
Yeah.
Fantastic game. I highly recommend it.
Do you ever get to any kind of supernatural beasts?
I never finished it.
Oh.
So I don't know. So I can't spoil it. All the beasts that I fought were like cultists. So I'm assuming at the end at some point, yes. But
so where is this movie? That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I want an adventure movie.
Yeah.
Give me an adventure movie where you're investigating it.
Set it in the 30s.
It's like a crime drama, and you're kind of going through this little gritty world, and then at the end, you stumble on this.
Start out. It's just like, hey, you're a beat cop or you're a detective. There was a murder. Yeah. You're trying to find a missing person.
You catch a few of these murderers and find out that like, wow, there's more than one of them.
Why do they all have this weird symbol carved into the back of their neck?
And then once they all get in prison, are they all chanting together?
Yeah.
And then just take us really quickly to the thing at the end where
next thing you know, he's getting sucked to some portal.
Yeah, or there's some creature coming through a back of a prison or a bar in Louisiana, and he has to. It's up to the gritty cop to stop it.
That's where you show that the gun doesn't do anything against the eldritch horror.
Yeah.
Now the other game, Call of Cthulhu, same title, is a Resident Evil type game. It came out in 2018.
Okay.
I didn't know this game existed until I typed in Call of Cthulhu game the other day. It sounds kind of cool. That's all I know about it. It came
Okay.
out in 2018.
Oh, it's not
It's
just a
like it looks like
rehashing,
Resident Evil. No, no.
not a rehashing of the first one.
As far as I can tell, no.
Okay.
Call of Cthulhu 2018. Because like the first one is a first person game, and this one is a third person game. So like you're controlling the character in the environment.
Yeah.
So
It kind of looks New Orleans ish.
Yeah, and I mean it says the official video game. So I wonder if it has any ties to the Lovecraftian Society, HP Lovecraft Society.
Yeah,
but
I like that idea of somebody approaching it from the outside, and I mean that's kind of what the void is. Whereas you're kind of focused on the deputy.
I think that's probably a lot of Lovecraft tales. Probably is like it's someone outside of the cult, outside of the knowledge of these things, learning about them.
Yeah.
Like that's what that was the silent movie, is like someone who didn't know about this cult, didn't know about these like eldritch horrors, these unknown forces, learning about the forces and being affected by them. And the I guess the last thing I want to talk about is I've already talked about it, the collected works of H.P. Lovecraft. This is going to be on my rotation. Anytime I'm going to be going out of town, I'll probably listen to a few hours of this.
Yeah.
If I need to play some Dune, that's what I've been doing when I'm playing Dune, listening to podcasts, lectures, and audiobooks. So I'm glad to have found it. Yeah. I highly recommend. Do you use Audible at all?
I've just have Spotify, and I tried to find books on there, and I could not figure out how you do it without. I don't know if there's anything free.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find much if there was, so I just kind of stuck to the podcast that I know.
How I use Audible is they have like a subscription that you can do, and it's like $15 a month, and you get 1 credit, and that 1 credit will buy anything. So some of the books, if you just want to buy them, they'll be like $20-$30. Yeah. Sometimes they're like $9. So you can decide what you want to do. As far no, if you have the subscription, you do have access to like a library as long as you have the subscription, but you can also purchase stuff. So it's kind of like Amazon in that situation, Amazon Prime. And over the years, because I've had Audible for years now, when it'll be like Audible for $10 a month for 2 months, that kind of thing, you'll get offers. I'll sign up for a couple of months, get a couple of credits, sign out.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the things I did when I went looking for this. I was like, oh yeah, I signed up a couple months ago. I need to sign out. And so I'll sign up again later. I have a couple of credits that I'll use for something. But there are usually, like, since you don't have Audible now, there's usually something like if you sign up now, you get a credit.
Okay.
And I just, as much traveling as you do, I'd recommend it. It's 51 hours of content. Just for that one collection.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of information.
The thought that I've got in the back of my head listening to that is like, I wonder what they've got at the library for free.
Yeah. You could go to the library and get a CD.
Well, they probably don't have the audiobook, but I might actually find actual books of his. I don't know. I'm sure they've got them in some collections or something like that of stories. Or
at the beginning of last month, when we knew we were going to do Lovecraftian stuff, I went to Barnes and Noble to look for collected works, and I found a nice. Barnes and Noble does those like pseudo leather bound. It's kind of like leather, it's not probably fake leather.
Yeah.
And they had one left, and it was like marked down. And I was like, yes! And I opened it up, and someone had messed it up. Like the whole spine was just like off.
Okay.
So like the cover for the book was half off of the interior of the book. So I did not buy it.
Does Barnes & Noble still do the thing where they've got seats that people can come in and sit down and sit there and read all day?
Yes. I think I might have mentioned this on one of the previous podcasts. I went into Barnes & Noble and I saw a guy reading Dan to Dan, and he was sitting in one of those seats reading Dan to Dan. And I asked him a question and scared him off. Yeah. So they definitely do. You could, if you got an afternoon. Yep. I don't know if you have time like that though.
No, I was just kind of wondering more about how much that messes up their their merchandise to have people that just want to come in and read
Oh,
it for free and
yeah.
then put it back. And I'm not sure I understand that as a business model. If you're, I think at one point, like Books a Million and things probably started it, and I guess other people have tried to sort of stick with it, where you have a little coffee shop and you can all sit there and look intelligent, like you're reading, and hopefully, probably mostly a way to try to meet chicks or
Right.
something.
Well, I know I'm assuming you suffer from it too. I know a lot of people suffer from it. I definitely suffer from it, where my brain is media rotted to where I have sitting down and reading something for a period of time takes effort.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, if I'm watching TV, I'm playing on my phone. That's the big one. You're doing something, you're playing on your phone.
Yeah.
Like I'm playing Dune, I'm listening to podcasts. I'm mowing the lawn, I'm listening to something. I have to need perpetual entertainment.
Yeah.
Definitely something to work on. But that's why I was saying for the Lovecraft, for the audiobook, just because there's so much of it. That's the only way. There's so many other things I want to read, like I want to read Neuromancer. That's on my list, but I want to read Neuromancer. I don't want to listen to Neuromancer. So like, there's Lovecraft, I'm fine putting on the listening list. That's fine.
I think this time of the year it's just not that time.
Yeah.
I think I've kind of been adjusting this area down here where we shoot the podcast to be more of a place to sit down and be comfy, kind of hang out. As it gets colder, my good reading sitting chair is over there by our sort of gas space heater for when it gets cold. I do plan to do a little bit more reading once the time changes again. It starts getting dark early again, and then once it starts getting cold, I don't want to be in either other parts of our house. I want to be down here where it's warm.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that wants to walk around the house in sweats and a hoodie. It's like I want to be in my shorts in a room that's warm. No, I've got some things kind of stacked up to read already. Obviously, I just picked up 9 more copies of Chainsaw Man, and
Yeah.
um,
Audiobook comic books, that'd be horrible.
yeah, no. If the best the manga can get for anime or the voice actors that they have at the moment, I can't imagine what you'd get for audiobooks. It'd be like the aspiring voice actors and be like, yeah, oh my gosh, let's not do those.
I would put The Dark Tower. Like, I've listened to some Stephen King novels that, like, it's one thing audiobooks is great for is something you've read before and you kind of want to get back to.
Yeah.
Like I did that with The Stand. I listened to it. I didn't read it. I listened to it. So like Stephen King is one of those authors that I'm good with listening to, but The Dark Tower explicitly, I want to read that.
They did the little prequel series of The Dark Tower that basically is the Wizard and the Glass book, just into comics. And I think they went back and Marvel did the rest of the Dark Tower series into comics. And I know I was picking up stuff like crazy until I got to that point where I was like, I just can't. I can't keep buying stuff from this comic shop that I never read.
Right.
I just was buying so much stuff and just putting it into a box.
And saying, I'll get to it someday.
I think I do have a backlog of that stuff, and I think they did most of the Dark Tower. I can't remember now.
I think they did. And because I think I did that very thing you're saying with it. I read like the first 3 issues and the rest are just there.
Yeah. So those are the kind of things I want to get back into in the fall and reading. I almost picked up the first compendium of Invincible this weekend from the same guy that I bought these from. I got these. I think I told you I was texting you. I'm supporting his business here. I looked up Invincible real quick. It was about $15 cheaper on Amazon, so I'm gonna probably pick it up just that way. Because $15 it's not a lot of money to me, but it's enough money to make a difference for me.
It's kind of like during my rant when I was talking about video games. It's not that this one item is more expensive. It's if I buy all the items, I'm going to buy it eventually at the higher price.
Yeah.
It adds up.
It does. It does.
So yeah, I'm much more likely to buy something if it's a one-off. Like for example, I went to a bookstore over the weekend when I was traveling, and I don't know, I didn't even bother looking up how much it was, but they had like Fight Club 2 graphic novel. And it's just literally a sequel to Fight Club in graphic novel form. He's in the suburb. So I was like, I would pay a little more for that just to get that one at this time, because it's a one-off. It's not like there's a whole bunch more like The Walking Dead. Yeah, it would be ridiculous to pay a lot more for like a Walking Dead compendium. Get it for as cheap as you can, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah. I'm still wrestling with the idea of a sequel to the Fight Club.
Well, once I get through it, I haven't read much of it, but once I get through it, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Let you read it. It's not very thick, so by the next time we see each other, I should be through it.
The sequel should be that the financial system collapsed at the end of the first one, and what happened next.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that ends up in a suburb.
Right.
I'm not sure. It's kind of one of those things that makes me wonder, is like, did the person that wrote the sequel, did they see the first thing? Or
well, we'll talk about it after you read it.
Gotcha.
But I just saw right now, Audible's current deal is it's free for 30 days and you get 2 free audiobooks. After that, it's the $15 a month.
Yeah.
But with Audible, with their deals, you can sign up for it and cancel.
I think we're kind of at a point. We don't do a lot of services. We do Amazon and Hulu, and then I watch stuff on YouTube. I don't think I'm ever going to do more than what we're doing now.
Yeah.
If we cancel one, we might just pick up something else to replace it. But we have stuff that's backlogged on what we have now. So I can't see adding any more money into
services,
into that pot for more things that I don't have time to use.
Yeah. Well, I know you do a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
On the road.
Yeah.
It's just I was like I said, I was listening to the book, this book on the road, and
I kind of do the podcast to get that alternate media stuff that talks about everything that our actual news media should be telling us about, and whether it's policy or medicines or vaccines, all kinds of things like that. And I kind of reserve that for those. Was usually as once we're driving up the road, my wife passes out and goes to sleep while I drive, and I can listen to my thing, get worked up over it, and then we get to where we're going, and I can just move on. Okay,
so you get your blood pressure up, so you stay awake. Gotcha.
Oh no, you would not want to get into a road incident with me 2 hours into a podcast, because I will come out ready to.
Most of my podcasts are like video game news.
I've done some entertainment stuff. I don't know. I can process my own entertainment without having somebody else tell me about entertainment. I don't like listening to too many other people's takes on stuff, because I just don't like to be told what to think about stuff. I am a contrarian. That's why I seek out the stuff that I do listen on podcasts, and I would love to do the audiobooks. My image of audiobooks is always like some weird British accent dude reading to me, and I'm just like,
the Star Wars Extended Universe and like Aliens novels.
Yeah.
I've gotten into those, and like some of the Star Wars ones are more like plays because they have sound effects and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's weird hearing a guy try to do both Han Solo and Leia like accents.
That's taking me way back. When we had a radio that we listened to on our big piece of furniture that was a record player and 8-track player that had a big top that opened. The thing was like the size, bigger than this table. We listened to, my dad and I, over a couple nights, probably on public radio, audio Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, okay, cool.
And sound effects and everything there too. But I remember that distinctly. Whenever Empire came out, I was still elementary school age, probably more like third grade, mid elementary school age when we did that, and that was cool. But I don't know if I can do those going up the road or not. Well,
yeah,
I'll have to try one sometime.
Yeah. Well, if I every once in a while you get like a free, like a gift from the Audible thing. They're like, give this to somebody. But I don't know if you have to actively sign up for it or not. But whatever.
Yeah. It's completely. It'd have to be the right voice.
Yeah.
The wrong voice on it would ruin it for me. And
I've listened to some bad audiobooks.
That's the way my luck goes.
Yeah.
I'd spend the money on that, and the first one would just be obnoxious, and
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm never going to use this again, and I just wasted $15.
All right. Well, this is the end of our episode about Lovecraftian media.
Yeah, I think we definitely should get into our category pool, actual Lovecraft movies.
Yeah. Yes.
There's some low budget, kind of weird offerings out there, but I'd like to still kind of get through them all, because even in a poorly made low budget one, you can at least process the story, whether or not it's how well it's put together.
Right.
That's one thing, but I think that we should definitely get that into our pool to choose from, so we can do that once we can get back on a schedule where we don't have to keep splitting this up into recording sessions. Give us a little bit more time between times to actually consume some stuff. So,
and speaking of which, do you want to go ahead and do the fortune cookie today, or you want to do it on our leftovers episode?
We can just do it on the leftovers.
Sure, yeah.
Or actually, I guess we should do it today, because the leftovers will actually kind of be a standalone.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and stop, and we'll go get the fortune cookie, and we'll finish that up.
Yep.
All right, you got our fortune cookies, and I think it's your turn to choose.
Yeah.
So
We
choose which stale fortune cookie you're going to open.
We have scrapped the bowl. So
yeah.
I'm just digging into the box.
There you
go. I'm not going to eat this because
no, it's stale.
I think a couple weeks ago they were already almost seemed like some sort of plastic.
Put the garbage in there.
I could probably eat that if I had to. Midnight Mass.
Oh, I got some homework to do.
Yes.
I've never seen it.
Man, I want to see it again.
I want to see it.
I keep talking about things that I want a physical copy of that. I've watched it through a couple times. Could watch it again tonight and just still be enthralled with it. It is a great. I don't want to build it up too much like Sisu.
Okay.
But it's.
Well, I really enjoyed, because it was Hill House? Is that what it's called? I really enjoyed that.
Yes.
That was really good.
I think in the order of things they did Haunting of Hill House.
Haunting of Hill House, that's it.
I think they did that, and they came back and did that second one.
Yeah.
It was like another haunted story. I don't think it was called Hill House. There was another one. Then he came back here more recently and did. I think it was Dorian Gray.
Okay.
It was some kind of I think it was one of the Poe stories. Seems like it was Dorian Gray, and I did not see that because not very long after we got through this and the other haunting one that he did. By I mean I think it's Mike Callahan. I think it's the right name. We got rid of Netflix, and not really missing Netflix, other than I just want some of these properties to be freed from Netflix's grasp,
right?
So that you can own them and just watch them without having to be part of it. So
Mike Flanagan.
I always say Callahan. Mm-hmm. Flanagan. Yeah.
Let's see what else he's done. Because I mean, I don't know what we would do for the coffee service for this, but he's Life of Chuck, The Fall of House of Usher.
House of Usher was the most recent one. It wasn't Dorian Gray.
The Midnight Club, Midnight Mass, The Haunting of Bly Manor.
That was the second one.
Dr. Sleep. That was great.
Yeah.
The Haunting of Hill House, Gerald's Game, Ouija, Origin of Evil, Before I Wake, Hush, Oculus.
I've seen some interviews with him where I think he's been messing around with scripts and stuff for the Dark Tower series, and he's done several, or at least a couple Stephen King things with the Gerald's Game and the what's the Dr. Sleep thing. Mm-hmm. If he ever can get to a point where they will come to an agreement and let him do that, I will get back on Netflix for a Mike Flanagan produced Dark Tower series. Okay. It would be very, Very good. I still don't know how you approach that and get it into it. It'd have to be seasons. And I don't know if you would do a season for each book, and if you did, that would be a very long process.
Well, I back when Game of Thrones was like coming to an end,
Yeah.
one of the things I was I was vocal about to the two people that listened to me on social media was HBO needs to adapt Dune, and that's what I said. Is like each season is one novel.
Yeah.
Just make it easy.
Yeah.
But so I am glad that like they are doing a Dune show on HBO Max, but I
It's like
think a Dark Tower series would be amazing.
The Gunslinger could be just a movie. You could just tell that story in a movie. It's not that
Yeah.
much that happens in it.
You could have a movie that starts it, then do series.
You could almost do a movie that would do the drawing of three.
Okay.
I don't think there's so much that happens there. You couldn't get that kind of ground down into a movie.
Well, at that point, if you're doing two movies, you just continue to do movies, but maybe part one, part two.
You might have to, because the books get bigger as they go.
Yes.
And they don't really get that complicated, and that might be one of those things he could do, would be polish up a little bit the way it kind of ties down, because there's a lot of, to me, wasted time in the last book. Just trying to figure out how to wrap it up. Like I've mentioned it before, and it's not spoiling anything, that they go back, the characters in the Dark Tower end up at Stephen King's house talking to Stephen King, and I'm like, what are we doing here?
I would hope that something like that, if it's tied to like a Netflix type situation, would get the kind of treatment that Lord of the Rings have gotten with Amazon, where they pretty much guaranteed them a certain number of seasons.
Yeah.
So like, it's like if Stephen King is going to sign off on a Dark Tower series, like have the contract be, you're going to do all of it.
Yeah.
And if anyone has the kind of pull that could get a contract like that, it's Stephen King.
Well, and him too. He's done enough work with Netflix. They know what they're dealing with there. And as long as they still have a good relationship after everything that they've done, then they should be in a spot to do that. I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, God, please don't try to sell it to them by saying, look at what Amazon did with Lord of the Rings.
No, well, yeah, what they did with Lord of the Rings is atrocious. But I'm just saying the commitment from the production studio, and it could very well be one of those things where like they have Flanagan. They're like, all right, great, we'll give you like 2 movies, and then you got to do something we want. Yeah. Like one of those things.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you're the next 20 years of your life has been
what Amazon did with Lord of the Rings would be like Netflix and him casting Peter Dinklage to be the gunslinger.
Peter Dinklage. All right. Well, you do have a fortune here. You have a friendly heart and are well admired. That's nice.
That's one of the most well worded fortunes that I've seen.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Most of the time they come out and they'd say, you have an admired heart and your heart is friendly with Wells.
Yeah, something like that. And with that, our next episode is going to be our leftovers.
Yes.
Since there's a 5th week in September.
Yeah.
And our leftovers is going to be all about Dan to Dan season 2.
And I have not watched any of it yet since the movie, and I'm going to binge the tar out of it here after we get through one more weekend of shows.
Do we know when the last season 2 is out?
I think it's going to end like right before we do it.
Okay.
So to finish it up, we'll have to watch it probably like right before
we can watch up to it.
Yeah.
So it looks like episode 10 is September 4th. So how many episodes?
I can't remember if it was 12 or 16. I remember we looked at something.
Yeah, 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if it's weekly, September 4th, September 11th, September 18th. So yeah, we'll be finishing it right up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think that's definitely one that we talk about things, some you binge, some you just kind of watch at your own pace. That's a binger.
Well, it's one of those series where it seems like when I get to the end of the episode, I just want to go to the next one.
Yeah. It's not so much like outside of the Silky episode where you're really just having to process what happened.
Right.
You're kind of more like, wow, that was crazy. Let's watch another one.
It's fun. It's bombastic. All right. Well, this has been fun, Joel.
Yeah.
We'll see you next episode.
We are through our coffee, and On to the next one.
Yeah. About ready for nap, I think.
Or some more squid.
Or some more squid.
Squid pasta.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Later.
Bye.